short flow is great for opening up the back of the hamstrings and for working into the hips just slightly, but also working into the activation of the abdomen. So to begin, we're going to come all the way down to our mats. So we'll come all the way down, backside against the mat, and knees hugged into the chest. We're going to start with some gentle activation. So bring those hands out into a T. Keep those knees tucked into the chest, using just that abdomen to keep them in. From here, we're going to hover that left foot out. Keeping that right foot in, let that left heel find the mat, and keep that abdomen activated to tuck that right knee into the chest. Bringing that knee up towards the chin with our inhale, and exhaling, finding a little bit more depth towards our chest. And then we'll switch. Bringing that right heel out to meet the mat. We'll bring that left knee in, just using the abdomen activation. Remembering that inhale, knee comes towards the chin, and exhale, leg comes towards the chest. We'll take a couple of these switches, really focusing on the abdomen activation here. Switching, right knee in. Right knee comes out. We inhale that left leg in. We exhale, bringing it close. We'll let that left leg come out and tuck both knees in again to the chest. No hands. Again, using that abdomen activation. See if we can bring that lower back up off of the mat, just slightly. And then we'll bring those feet flat down to the ground. From here, ground down through the triangles underneath the feet, the mound of the big toe, the pinky, and the heel. Imagine those triangles really grounding down and lifting those hips up. We're going to shift those hips just slightly over to the left and drop those knees over to the right. Keep that gaze up towards the ceiling here. We're still warming into our spine. We don't want to twist too much. And then we'll bring those legs up. Ground down through the feet, move those hips up and over to the right side, letting those knees drop to the left. Remember to breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then bring those legs back up. Ground down, bring those hips back to center and tuck those knees in. Hands come behind the legs this time. We'll take a rock along our spine, massaging out the spine, the back. And we'll rock right up and over through to our table. So our knees come right beneath our hips, hands, wrists, right beneath our shoulders. We're going to take some cat-cow movements here. The inhale, chest opens, gaze lifts up, tailbone rises towards the ceiling, as if there's strings attached to both the crown of the head and tailbone. Exhale, dome away, chin tucks to the chest, as if there's a string attached to your middle vertebrae on your back, pulling up. The inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Inhale. Top of the inhale, we find our best expression here, right now. And then we exhale. The bottom of the exhale is the cue to switch directions. Good, come back to a neutral. Tuck those toes, bring those hands just slightly out in front of our shoulders, and bring those hips up and back into our first down dog. In our down dog, we want nice long length from the fingers all the way up to the hips. Imagine your pelvis, hips tucking back up and away towards where the ceiling and wall meet up behind you. And then let those heels drop towards the floor with gravity. A nice bend in the knees might help here. Maybe walk out that dog. We'll shift that gaze to the front of the mat. Take a nice big step forward, coming into our first forward fold. In forward fold, make sure to bend those knees so that ribs and thighs meet. Hands can ragdoll, come to opposite elbows or behind the head. But take a moment here to breathe. Let the head go. That head becomes the weight, the catalyst behind this full back side body stretch. From here, ground down through the triangles of those feet. Inhale, rise. Half lift. Weight comes into the toes, 90 degrees at the hips. Hands come to shins, knees, thighs. And then exhale. We'll take a couple of those. Inhale, straighten those legs. Weight comes into the toes, 90 degrees at the hips. And then exhale. One more. Inhale. You should feel this fire up the back of those legs. And exhale. From here, ground down. Sweep those arms up all the way. Rise. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Arms rise. Exhale, dive down through center, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant those palms, step back to our plank. From here, lower those knees. Reach back to a child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat. We'll ripple up. Coming straight to an up dog. Knees straighten, tops of the feet press into the mat. Shoulders draw away. We want our hips to be up off of the mat here. And then we'll hover up and back to our down dog. If that is a little bit too advanced here, an option is moving from child's pose to upward dog, where our thighs stay on the mat, however our hips come off. We want those hips to be off to protect that lower back. If they're straining to stay on the mat, you're going to be straining that lower back. We keep those hips up off of the mat. So whether you're here or in a more active upward facing dog, we want those hips up and off. From here, the modified version of upward facing dog, we can tuck those toes and move back through an extended table up to down dog. So that's another option if hovering right from up dog to down dog isn't there for you. From here, shift that gaze to the front of the mat, step forward, inhale, half lift, and exhale, forward fold. Again, sweep those arms up, rise. We're going to open up to the front of the room. So from here, splay those heels just slightly out. We're going to bring those hands parallel with the mat, and we're going to bring our hands to our hips. So this is going to help find that nice long length in the spine, so then we can bring our hands to our hips. From here, continue that long line up, and we're going to bend at the waist, coming forward into a wide leg forward fold. Come until your hands can reach the floor, and then guide yourself down. From here, take a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Same idea as when we were in our original forward fold, but wide legs. Chest comes parallel with the floor. And exhale. Release. Inhale, another half lift. And this time, walk those hands over to the left foot, getting a nice right side body stretch here in the obliques. And then we'll walk those hands over to the right side. Come back to center. Take one more half lift. Exhale. Release. Bring those hands back to the hips. Find that alignment. Chest in line with the floor. Engage the glutes, the back of the legs, rise all the way up to standing. From here, we'll step it back to the front of the mat. We'll inhale, rise those arms up overhead. Drop those hands through center. Coming to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. This time we're going to lower those hips all the way down to the mat. Coming down to our hips. Find a nice long line from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Feet grounded down onto the mat, and we're going to lower all the way down slowly. Using the abdomen strength. Good. Hands come up overhead, and then we'll open them up wide, coming back to our T. Hug those knees in, using the abdomen without our hands, and let that right leg hover out. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee, guide it over into a twist. We can take that gaze over to the left hand if we'd like, or we can stay in line. And we'll inhale up. Hands back out to a T, right leg comes in, left leg hovers out, finds the mat. Guide that knee over with our left hand. And then we'll come back up. Hands come to a T, hug that knee in. Feet come back down. We'll take a bridge here. So we'll ground down through the triangles of those feet. Engage the abdomen, tuck the pelvis slightly, and ground down through the feet, rising up. If there's room, our shoulders can rotate underneath, hands clasping beneath us. And we ground down through those feet, pressing up, bringing those hips higher up off of the mat. To come out of this, we come onto our tiptoes, and we ripple down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Give yourself a nice hug into the chest. Be shaking out those knees. So I invite you to repeat the video a couple of times, maybe first or even a second time, guided by me, and then maybe shutting off the audio and working into the flow at your own pace. See where your body wants to flow, what it wants to add or subtract. That's how we grow, by listening to what our bodies want on our mats at a given time. Thank you for flowing with me tonight. Expect some more videos to come, and namaste.